fall sugar beet harvest, the main campaign has officially started. It's pretty slick out here, folks. We got a couple inches of rain. Pretty much the trucks can't go anywhere without needing a pull. So we're pretty busy here. Welcome to the Red River Valley of North Dakota. A land flowing with milk and honey. You're watching Beet Farmin Mitch. I don't think we'll be fighting the mud all day here, probably just a little bit longer. Basically right when we're getting going today on our opening, it's pretty muddy still, just from the rain. And it's already starting to get better with the sun and the light and the heat drying it off, but it's slick out here. Safety pull, pretty much just try and go the same speed. We're going about 2.4 right now. Then the harvester will speed up and slow down to fill him up. Good communication is key. Yeah, so now we gotta get him turned around here and get him back onto the road. So now we're pulling him down the field. We're just going to the driveway here and we're gonna pull him up onto the driveway, onto the road, so he can go to the piler. It usually gets a little slippery at the field driveway. Make sure I take him around wide here too. Pull the pin, and we got him unhooked. There he goes. So these are what we call our tri-axles here. You can see that 1, 2, 3 axles in the back. These ones do a lot better not getting stuck in the mud. Semis usually get stuck easier. So the tri-axles are nice to have for that. Nice work, he made it all the way through without needing to get pulled. I don't know if he'll make it up the driveway though. That's usually where you start slipping out. Nice work. So when the fields are really muddy like this, our trucks can pull mud onto the roads. And so basically what we're doing here is we're pulling that mud back into the field. Because we like to, excuse me, I'm eating a carrot. Because as soon as we start pulling mud onto the roads, we like to scrape it off, pull it back into the field so we got good safe roads. And just like that, we flashed over to the beet harvester here, and guess what? I just got trained in on this thing yesterday and today, kind of. So I am a fresh newbie at running this thing, and so it'll be an interesting adventure. I think I got the education part down. I just need some experience running this thing. But yeah, so this is the beet harvester. We can go take a closer look at this in a bit, but the beets get plucked up through these lifter wheels, go through the grab rolls, go through the center grab rolls, up, back through the Ferris wheel, into the hopper, and then over the boom into the truck. So we're just kind of waiting on trucks right now. So we're in the 340, it is dualed up. There's my arrows for telling the trucks to go back and forth. But here is the beet lifter, and so you can see there's these wheels back here, and basically the beets get plucked out and pulled up in there, and then they're batted with this thing called the paddle shaft that slaps them and pushes them over into the grab rolls. Those things spin and pull it up through the apron there, center apron, through that set of grab rolls, up and through here into the Ferris wheel. They spin around, spin around the other way, spin around that way, come up into there and into the truck. There you have your beet lifter. Turn the boom on, unload the beets. So then when I get to the end, I gotta let it run a little bit. So I'm at the end, I'm gonna turn around here. Make sure all the beets get emptied out of the grab rolls. And now we kind of loop around on the headland and go back in on the other side. And when I'm pulling in, I gotta make sure I go in straight with the rows so we're all lined up. Gauge the GPS. So there's a lot of different things I'm watching right now. I'm watching the truck, the auto steer to make sure the tractor is driving in between the rows. I'm also watching the beet lifter to make sure that that's on the rows and plucking the rows up, because you have to adjust that independently. There's also an automated thing called the row finder, which we can take a look at that in a bit here. And I'm also watching the truck sure I'm not loading them up too much and just right. So and I'm also making sure there's no plug rows. There's a lot to watch with this thing, and I'm just getting started, so it seems like a lot right away. And now we got him loaded, so we wait for the next truck. It's a little soft for him. They're having a little trouble getting into gear, but once you get into gear and get going, it's not too bad. The Tire Boss, we have automatic tire deflation on our drive wheels on that thing, and so that makes a big difference. That's basically helps us not get stuck. Now we're getting towards the end, so I'll shut the boom off and then I'll flash up and down on here and he'll know that he's loaded. Oh, and I can also adjust this. See that elevator moving up there? I can adjust the boom to fill the tank up more on the right side there. There you go. Now we wait for another truck. So in the meantime, when I'm waiting, and I just did this so I don't have to do it now, and hopefully it doesn't sound like I know what I'm doing because I just learned all of this and I'm just basically relaying all the information that my brother Jason just told me. But basically I gotta watch over tons of stuff on here. I got to make sure there's no mud building up on certain areas, and I gotta go with a crowbar and scrape literally all over this thing. So here's the rows of topped sugar beets. There they are there. See how the tires are in between the beet rows? That's good. I have to nudge the GPS to keep the tractor in between the rows. And then I also have to adjust the lifter here so that the wheels are centered on the row. There's a hydraulic piston that does that here. And then there's something called the row finder, which this is like those two metal pieces kind of comb between the beets, and it kind of automatically nudges these hydraulic lines to keep that on there. Sometimes it gets knocked off though, so I'm constantly manually adjusting it as well. Well, we got a few minutes here, so I figured I got some hot dish left to kill. Sorry, I ate most of it today. I don't mind bringing leftovers. Bring a sandwich a couple times a week, bring leftovers the rest of the week. It usually keeps it pretty mixed up. Oh, and I forgot about the piece de resistance here. A couple of hard-boiled eggs always hit the spot. Keeps the guy going. And I suppose we'll wash it down with a V8. That's a Hebrew toast meaning to life. You gotta have that in there. L'chaim. Well, I think that's all I'm going to be in the harvester for today. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I might be in a truck. I might be in this thing. It might be a little of both. I might be doing some miscellaneous stuff. So I guess you'll find out pretty quick, but I'll have to wait and be patient. So with that, I say good night, only to say good morning. So now it is 1:30 a.m. and I am just getting out to the field. And you know, one of my favorite things about coming out to the field at this time is seeing how much progress they made last night. You can tell if things went well or if things didn't. And it looks like things went well for the most part out here. So we're gonna go hop in the harvester. It's a whole different atmosphere at night out here. We upgraded this harvester. We put LED lights on it this winter when we had it in the shop. And so we should be pretty geared up there. And not only are we geared up there, but I got an LED light up here. Check that puppy out. This is literally perfect. I have a flashlight now for my head for when I'm scraping mud tonight or hanging out or trying to look for something. And now, talking to you, because I don't think you can see me that great in the dark. They're talking chances of rain this morning, like 80 to 100% chance of rain. And it's 1:48 a.m. right now, so we're pretty much gonna keep going until we get rained out. And if hopefully we don't get rained out, but it's looking like, according to the weather, it's pretty likely. So we're gonna keep digging until we can't anymore. And as soon as it dries up after this rain, we're gonna start digging beets again 24 hours. So that's what we're up to now, and that's the game plan for now. And then we just keep going until we're done with beets. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks, sometimes it takes a month. Hopefully it doesn't take a month, but that happens. So you just gotta keep moving forward and keep the wheels spinning, keep the trucks going through the piler. And I guess the piler has been pretty busy tonight. There's been trucks there pretty steady till about 11, and I guess it's kind of cleaning out now. So trucks are coming back to the field a little faster, which helps us keep moving faster. One of my favorite things about beet harvest, bringing a thermos full of coffee with. Well, I spilled a little bit there, better clean that up. Cheers. So it's 3 a.m. right now, and I usually like to try and wait. Okay, so this is kind of how I roll. I kind of might have a couple snacks throughout the night and kind of sip on some coffee, you know, have my little cherry turnover and maybe some grapes or some fruit or something throughout the night. And I like to keep it light at night, and then usually by the time the sun comes up, which that's probably my favorite time of day, but I think it's gonna be cloudy and rainy this morning. You get to see the sunrise. That's probably my favorite part, and then you get kind of just a boost of energy because the sun's coming up. And usually I have lunch at like 9 a.m. That's kind of what I shoot for, is lunch at 9, and then maybe have a couple snacks in the morning, and then usually in the early afternoon then or mid-afternoon we're kind of done for the day, and then I'll go home and go to bed and try fall asleep by 5-6 o'clock and get a full night of sleep and fire up for, come out here for 1:30 a.m. again. So here comes my dad in the sugar beet topper. That's what chops the tops off the beets and then cleans the root out good, and we can go ahead and lift them out of the ground with this thing. So you see that spot right there? Wanna go check it out for me? So every few trucks I've got to hop out and use my crowbar or scraper to clean mud off this thing, because it starts to build up at certain points of the machine, and we don't want mud to build up on here because it causes problems. So I'm gonna clean some mud. These beets are spaced at 22 inches in between each row of beets, and so there's 12 rows in here. You can see here's the topped beets that we're gonna harvest, here's the untopped beets. And so one pass with this thing is 22 feet wide, and the topper is the same width as well. Well, it is now 7 a.m. and I very ever so slightly can see a little bit of orangish red over there. The sun is rolling its way up the earth here. Well, we got the topper right in front of us. We're staying right behind him pretty much because we're getting more sprinkles on the window here, and we don't want any top sugar beets when we're done digging for the rain. You don't want them to get rained on and be left out for a while. Well, we made it to about 7:30. It's brighter outside now, but it's a little too damp out here, so we had to stop. So we're gonna let the rain pass and see what happens. Thanks for joining me on the night shift. That was, hopefully we both had a lot of fun. So have a great day, and don't forget to keep it sweet.